I'd been planning our anniversary for weeks. 10 years together. A decade of love, laughter, challenges, and growth, or so I thought. I wanted to remind her of how far we'd come. Booked a reservation at the same place we went on our first anniversary. Even got her a gift, small diamond earrings. Not flashy, just something meaningful. I imagined the night ending with us wrapped in each other. Maybe talking about taking a trip together, like we used to. Dinner was nice. Not perfect, but nice. She smiled, but it didn't quite reach her eyes. I brushed it off. Life gets heavy sometimes, right? We got home around 9 p.m. I poured us a couple of glasses of wine. She barely sipped hers. Said she was tired, wanted to get changed. I figured that was my cue. Maybe she had something special planned too. But then she came out of the bedroom in a different outfit. Tight top, short skirt, heels. Not the kind of thing she wore for me lately. Where are you going? I asked, eyebrows raised. She didn't even hesitate. I had time with you. Now I'm going to have some pleasure for myself, she said, grabbing her purse. It hit me like a brick. No shame, no guilt, just cold. Like I was a chore she'd checked off her list. You're not going anywhere, I said. Calm, but firm. She shot me a look like I'd lost my mind. Try to stop me, she snapped. If you touch me, I'll call the police. And then, before I could say another word, she slammed the door behind her. I stood there, frozen. My hands were clenched, heart pounding, not from anger, at least not yet, but from something deeper. Confusion, maybe. Shock. I sat on the couch in silence for hours. Didn't even turn the TV on. Just stared at the door. I don't know when I fell asleep. But when I woke up, the sunlight was bleeding through the blinds, and my phone was vibrating like it was alive. 14 missed calls. All from her. Something had changed. 14 missed calls. I stared at the number like it wasn't real. Who calls someone that many times unless they're panicking? Unless something happened. Unless they're desperate. I didn't call her back. I just sat there, scrolling through the missed calls, watching them stack up like bricks in a wall that was about to come crashing down. A few minutes later, the messages started coming in. Please, Ben, just talk to me. I didn't mean it like that. Call me back. We need to talk. Now. I messed up. Please just pick up. Funny thing is, just 12 hours ago she was threatening to call the cops if I so much as raised my voice. Now she was begging. I didn't answer. Instead, I got up, made some coffee, and sat at the kitchen table. My hands were steady, but my mind was spinning. I kept thinking about the way she looked at me last night, like I was something to be brushed off, like I didn't matter anymore. I opened my laptop. It wasn't like I hadn't had suspicions before. There were signs. The late nights. The new clothes. That shift in the way she touched me, or didn't. But I never thought it had come to this. I pulled up our shared cloud storage. She forgot we linked our accounts when we first got married, years ago, back when trust was something we didn't question. Photos. Videos. Text backups. And there it was. She had been out last night, all right. With him. A guy I'd never seen before. Younger, maybe by 5 or 6 years. Muscular. Cocky. There was a selfie, taken in the car. Her leaning over, lips against his neck, his hand on her thigh. Timestamp just an hour after she slammed the door. My stomach turned, but I didn't feel rage. Not yet. There were more photos. A hotel room. A half-empty bottle of champagne. Her phone was mirrored to the cloud, automatically backing up everything. She didn't even bother to hide it. That's when I knew this wasn't a mistake, a one-time thing. This was planned. She had gone out, right after our anniversary dinner, with the full intention of ending her night in someone else's bed. I sat back, let out a long breath, and realized I was done. But she wasn't. My phone lit up again. Ben, please, it's not what you think. I didn't know it would go that far. Talk to me before you do something stupid. I smiled, but it wasn't out of humor. I wasn't about to do anything stupid. I was about to do something smart. I grabbed my keys, took the backup drive from my desk, and headed out. There were people I needed to see. People she didn't think I'd ever talk to. And one of them, well, he'd be very interested to know where his girlfriend was last night. The thing about betrayal? It sharpens your senses. Everything's clearer, colder, more focused. No more second-guessing, No more giving the benefit of the doubt. I wasn't just going to sit there and let her rewrite the story. I knew exactly where to go first. Her best friend, Julia. Now, Julia and I had never been tight, but she wasn't stupid. She'd seen the cracks. Hell, she probably knew about the guy before I did. But I had something she didn't, proof. I pulled up outside Julia's apartment around 10 a.m. She answered the door in sweatpants, hair tied up, coffee in hand. "Ben," she blinked. "What are you doing here?" I held up my phone. "We need to talk." She let me in, her expression shifting from curious to cautious in about 3 seconds. "Is everything okay?" she asked. "Depends," I said, dropping into the chair opposite her. "I think you already know what's going on." Her face tightened. "I don't." I cut her off. "I'm not here to fight. I just want to know how long you've known." Julia hesitated, then sighed, setting her coffee down. "Since last month," she admitted. "She told me it was just a fling." "A fling?" I scoffed, pulling up the photos on my phone. "Looks like more than a fling to me." Her eyes flicked to the screen, and even she couldn't hide the disgust. "She told me she'd end it," Julia muttered. "Said it wasn't serious." "It was serious enough for her to walk out on our anniversary to meet him." Julia shook her head, looking away. "I'm sorry, Ben. I should have said something." "Yeah," I said, standing up. "You should have." But I wasn't here for her apologies. "Listen," I continued. "Do you know who he is?" Julia paused. "His name's Travis. Works at her gym. Personal trainer or something." "Does he have a girlfriend?" I asked. Julia nodded slowly. "Yeah, actually he does. Her name's Emily. I've met her once or twice." That was all I needed. 2 hours later, I was parked outside the gym. I'd found Emily's Instagram. It didn't take long. Travis wasn't exactly low-key about his life. Their pictures were still up, cute little couple shots, vacations, dog photos. I sent her a message. Direct, but not cruel. "Hey Emily, you don't know me, but I think we need to talk about Travis. I'm not here to cause drama, just to share something you should know." She didn't respond right away. I didn't expect her to. But by the time I got home, my phone lit up. "What do you mean? Who are you?" I sent her the photos. A few minutes passed. Then came the reply. "Where did you get these?" "From my wife's phone. Your boyfriend spent our anniversary with her." Silence. Then, "Can we meet?" I met Emily at a quiet cafe across town. She looked like she hadn't slept, her eyes puffy, hands shaking slightly as she held her cup. "Thank you for telling me," she said, voice low. "I figured you deserved the truth," I said. "I don't know what you want to do with it, but I'm done playing nice." Her lips tightened. "So am I." She pulled out her phone, scrolled through messages, and showed me a few. Travis had been lying to both of us for months. "I'm not just breaking up with him," she said, fire in her eyes now. "I'm going to burn him down." We sat there, silent for a moment. Two strangers, bound by betrayal, both knowing something had shifted. This wasn't about revenge anymore. This was about taking back control. By the time I left that cafe, something inside me had settled. Not peace exactly, but something close. Like standing in the middle of a wildfire and realizing you're not afraid of the flames anymore. I didn't rush home. I didn't need to. Instead, I drove around town for a while, windows down, letting the cool air clear my head. When I finally pulled into the driveway, her car was already there. Figures. I walked in and found her sitting on the couch, still in last night's clothes, phone in hand, eyes red like she'd been crying. Or maybe just exhausted from trying to control a situation that was already gone. She looked up when she heard the door. "Ben," she started, standing up. I held up my hand. "Don't," I said. "Calm. Flat. Don't even start." She froze, mouth half open. "You left," I continued. "You made your choice." "It wasn't," she tried. I cut her off. "I know exactly what it was." Her eyes flickered, panic setting in. "I saw everything. Your phone, the cloud backups, the photos, the hotel. I know his name. I know everything." Silence. "I didn't mean for it to go that far," she whispered, like that would soften the blow. I actually laughed. "You walked out on our anniversary dinner to screw some guy you met at the gym. Don't insult both of us by pretending it wasn't what it was." Tears welled up, But I didn't care. You've got 48 hours, I said, to pack your things and go. She stepped forward. Ben, please. Don't, I said again, stepping back. There's nothing left here for you. She stood there, shaking, like a kid caught cheating on a test. Where am I supposed to go? She asked. Not my problem. That night, I didn't sleep. Not because I was angry, but because my mind was already on what came next. I wasn't going to let her drag me into some emotional battlefield. No yelling. No crying matches. No begging. Just facts. She texted a few times. Apologies. Excuses. Promises. I didn't reply. By morning, she'd started packing. And then, Emily messaged me. He's denying everything. Can you send me one more screenshot? Something with dates. I did. An hour later, she sent me a photo of Travis, standing on their porch, bags in hand. She'd kicked him out. He's gone. Later that day, something unexpected happened. I got a message from Julia again. Ben, you might want to check Facebook. I opened it. There she was, my wife, posting some vague, sad status about making mistakes and being human and hoping for forgiveness. The comments were full of sympathy. I almost laughed. I didn't reply there either. But I did one better. I posted my own status. Anniversary dinner was last night. Thought we were celebrating 10 years together. Turns out, only one of us thought that. I wish her the best in her new life with him. No names. No drama. Just truth. By evening, my inbox was flooded. Friends, coworkers, even some of her family. She came home around 7, her face pale. Why did you do that? She demanded. Because, I said, standing in the doorway, you don't get to control the story anymore. She stormed past me into the kitchen. Her purse dropped to the floor, hands shaking as she tried to gather herself. You humiliated me, she snapped. I leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. Calm as hell. No, I said. You did that all by yourself. I just opened the curtain. You had no right. I gave a dry laugh. Oh, I had every right. I just didn't stoop to your level. I didn't cheat. I didn't lie. I didn't leave someone who trusted me sitting at home on our anniversary while I got my kicks at a hotel off I-75. Her face twisted, anger, shame, panic. A cocktail of every emotion she used to manipulate a situation. I was confused, Ben, she said. You were so distant lately. I thought maybe we'd lost. Don't, I interrupted. Don't you dare try to put this on me. She froze. Let's be clear about something, I said. You didn't cheat because we were distant. You cheated because you were selfish. Because the thrill mattered more than the commitment. You wanted it all, comfort and chaos, and you figured I'd just be here, waiting. She sat down hard on one of the bar stools, staring at the floor. They're all turning on me, she whispered. I raised an eyebrow. They, my friends, family. Even my sister messaged me asking what the hell I was thinking. I didn't gloat, didn't smile. But I'll be honest, it felt good to know the truth was working its way through the cracks. I don't know how to fix this, she said, looking up at me. You don't, I said simply. Because you can't. That night, I packed a duffel bag and left her in the house. Told her she had until Sunday to move her stuff out. I went to stay with an old college buddy who owed me more than a few favors. He had a guest room, whiskey, and no questions. We drank in silence the first night. Then he asked the one thing no one else had. Are you okay? And I surprised myself with the answer. I think I am. Because the anger was gone. The betrayal? Still there. But the weight of pretending, of hoping, of trying to fix something that had long since rotted from the inside, that was gone. A few days later, I got a message from her again. I'm out of the house. I left your keys on the counter. That was it. No long letter. No grand apology. Just the final act. I went back the next day. The place was eerily quiet. Some of her stuff was still there, things she clearly didn't care about. A sweater, some old photos, a half-used bottle of shampoo. Like little ghosts of a life that had stopped mattering to her long before I ever saw it. I walked room to room, just breathing. This wasn't loss anymore. It was space. Clean space. Then came the unexpected twist. Emily messaged me again. You might want to see this. Attached was a screenshot. A text from Travis to my wife. He's gone. You said you'd leave him too. What's happening? She never replied. Emily added, "Looks like she thought she'd land on a new branch before letting go of the old one. But now she's got nothing." I didn't reply. Didn't need to. The house was quiet for a week. Not silent in a haunting way, quiet in a clean slate kind of way. Like it was holding its breath, waiting to see what came next. I took time off work. Told my team I needed a break. They didn't ask questions. Word travels fast when someone nukes their marriage on social media. I started fixing small things around the house. The drawer that never closed right. The leaky faucet in the bathroom. Reorganized the garage, finally threw out the junk we swore we'd use someday. You'd be surprised how therapeutic it is to sort bolts by size when your life just detonated. And yeah, I slept better. Not great, but better. No more waiting for someone to come home late, smelling like someone else's cologne. No more pretending I didn't notice. No more silence that felt like punishment. Just peace. A few days later, Julia messaged me again. So, she's trying to do damage control. I didn't even ask what that meant. Didn't care. She's telling people you were distant, that you worked too much, that you had checked out emotionally. I sent back one line. If I was distant, it's because I was alone. Let her spin whatever version of the truth helped her sleep. I wasn't going to chase down every whisper. I had nothing to hide. Besides, the people who mattered? They already knew. Then Emily reached out again. She wasn't looking to stir anything up, just checking in. "You doing okay?" "Better than expected," I replied. "Fixing things. Mostly the house. And myself." She sent a thumbs up. Then, a second later. "You should come to our friend's bonfire Friday night. Low-key. Good people. Zero gym brothers." I hesitated. Not because I didn't want to go, but because I wasn't sure what it meant. She followed it up with, "It's not a date. Just fire, drinks, and people who don't suck." Fair enough. I went. It was held in someone's backyard, string lights overhead, fire pit blazing, music low. The kind of place where laughter didn't sound fake. Emily waved when she saw me. She was in jeans and a hoodie, hair pulled back, sipping something warm. She smiled like someone who wasn't pretending. We talked. Nothing deep. Just easy conversation. We laughed a bit. Shared some war stories, not the gory details, just the human parts. Turns out heartbreak sounds the same in every voice. At one point she asked, "So what now?" I shrugged. "I guess I figure out who I am again." She nodded. "That's the good part. Starting over doesn't have to suck." She was right. The night ended without sparks or kisses or any kind of movie script wrap-up. Just a warm goodbye and to see you around. And it felt good. Like maybe everything I lost had just made space for something better. Not someone better. 3 months passed. Funny how time works after a storm. Each day feels like a small victory. One morning you wake up and realize you're not thinking about them first thing. Then you stop checking your phone, half expecting drama. Then, one day, you catch yourself smiling for no reason at all. That was me now. The house? It was finally mine. Not just legally. Emotionally. It didn't feel like our place anymore. I painted the walls, tore out the old couch, replaced it with something I actually liked. Started building a little fire pit in the backyard, like the one I saw at that bonfire. A place for people who don't suck. And work? I got sharper. I'd been holding back for years, distracted, dulled by comfort and chaos. Now, I was all in. Deals started flowing again. My team noticed. Hell, I noticed. Turns out, when you cut the dead weight, you run faster. She tried, of course. A couple of texts, vague apologies. One even said, "Maybe we can meet for coffee, just to talk?" I didn't answer. Not out of anger. Just because there was nothing left to say. You don't go back to the fire that burned your house down to ask why it was hot. And then there was Emily. We didn't jump into anything. No big romance. No declarations. We just kept showing up. A coffee here. A hike there. Long talks about life, not as victims, not as broken people, just as two folks figuring it out. She showed me what strength looks like when it's quiet. No drama. No games. Just honesty, even when it's messy. And one night, as we sat on my new couch, she looked at me and said, "You know, I don't think I'd want to change anything." I looked at her, raising an eyebrow. "I mean, She continued, "Yeah, it sucked. What they did. But if it didn't happen, I wouldn't be here. With you." And she was right. I wouldn't be here either if she hadn't left me, if she hadn't betrayed me, if she hadn't set fire to what we built. I wouldn't have found this. Myself. Her. This peace. I still don't believe in happy endings. Not the kind they sell in movies. But I believe in better endings. I believe in second chances, not for people who threw you away, but for yourself. And now? Now I wake up, pour my coffee, step into a house that finally feels like home, and I know something deep in my bones. She didn't break me. She just set me free. The end. Me, but better.